What if The Simpsons has not been predicting the future, but exposing a timeline already set in motion long before we noticed? A cartoon that laughed at technology we had not built, leaders we had not met, and crises we had not yet lived. Now look at 2026. It does not feel like a date. It feels like a warning clock ticking louder every year. Why are plans for Mars moving faster than we can question them? Why are new political rules being shaped quietly in the background? Why is music becoming a tool to control emotions? And how does a movie from 2007 now look like a political forecast? This should not line up with a comedy series, but it does. Too exact. Too purposeful. Tonight, we are not chasing symbols. We are facing the predictions the show delivered openly while the world ignored them. 2026 is approaching, and the moment where fiction meets reality has already begun. Subscribe now and uncover the truths hidden in Springfield before the world catches up. Season 27, Episode 16, Margian Chronicles, shows Exploration Incorporated preparing the first permanent Mars colony. Marge and a young girl training for years, hoping to join the earliest settlers. The launch sequence, the drifting red dust, and the glowing dome cities all appear years before SpaceX revealed nearly identical plans. Even though the episode aired in 2016, in 2025, Starship completes its first orbital refueling test. NASA and China quietly confirm their 2026-2028 Mars base timeline, and Elon Musk announces that uncrewed starships will touch down in 2026. Suddenly, Marge waving from the rocket window doesn't feel like fiction, it feels like a preview. 2026 may become the year Earth claims permanent ground on Mars, the year humanity stops imagining a colony and starts building one. Pause on that dome city. It looks less like a cartoon and more like a construction plan waiting for approval. And when the first family steps onto the Red Planet, who stays behind for good? When the rocket climbs through the atmosphere, will you be inside it or staring up from the ground? Season 16, Episode 15, Future Drama, shows Homer buying the first consumer hover car and taking Bart on a chaotic joyride through floating traffic. While Season 11, Episode 17, Bart to the Future, shows adult Homer and Marge eating virtual reality food that materializes on the table like steak, fries, and even desserts. 2 episodes, 1 future, unfolding in real time. In 2025, Aleph Aeronautics receives FAA approval for flying cars, and Apple Vision Pro 3 introduces full sensory VR meals that trick the brain into tasting anything. Homer drifting above the city no longer feels like an animation. It feels like 2026 traffic waiting to happen. Marge biting into a digital steak is not a joke. It is the new dinner table. Rewatch the hover car lifting off. It resembles a blueprint more than a cartoon. When food is made of light and code, who decides the flavor you experience? And when thousands of cars float through the sky, humming above rooftops, will walking on the ground become a forgotten habit of the past? Season 12, Episode 14, New Kids on the Bleck, introduces Party Posse, a boy band secretly created by the US Navy, using polished pop songs loaded with hidden commands like Yvonne Aitmioj, meaning join the Navy when reversed. The group becomes a worldwide phenomenon, pulling millions of fans toward the military without anyone realizing it. This aired in 2001, long before algorithmic sound engineering or neurotech existed. In 2025, TikTok pushes audio hypnosis challenges, Neuralink experiments with music-based mood manipulation, and leaked Pentagon papers reference early sonic influence operations. Suddenly, Party Posse appearing on every screen does not feel like comedy. It feels like a warning. Freeze the backwards lyric. It resembles the future of your headphones more than a punchline. In 2026, when a song subtly shifts your mood or decisions, will you still believe the choice is yours? And if a catchy beat can guide an entire generation, Who is really shaping the playlist you trust? The 26th of July, 2007. The Simpsons movie shows the President of the United States as Arnold Schwarzenegger, not as a joke or a cameo, but sitting in the Oval Office, signing decisions he does not even read. No election, no backstory, just Arnold in power. That scene aired 19 years ago. Now in 2025, constitutional amendment discussions quietly return, the natural-born citizen clause is questioned again, and Arnold at 78.8 hints at the idea of one final run. Suddenly, that nameplate on the White House desk feels less like satire and more like a preview. Pause on his signature. It looks less like a cartoon gag and more like an inauguration rehearsal. In 2026, when a global icon steps into real political power, who will be directing the script behind the camera? And if a movie star rises to the highest office again, surrounded by lights, cameras, and perfectly crafted narratives, will anyone still be certain they are living in a democracy or inside the biggest show on Earth? The warnings were never whispered. They were broadcast in plain sight through a cartoon the world dismissed as harmless. A yellow city that mocked itself somehow outlined Mars colonies, hover cars, mind-altering music, and even a Hollywood president long before any of it seemed possible. Call it a coincidence if you want, or consider the idea that Springfield has been mirroring a timeline we are only now catching up to. Maybe The Simpsons is not predicting our future. Maybe it is exposing the one we are sleepwalking into. And if you are still here, you are one of the few who can see the patterns forming. Hit that like button, share this video, and comment Mars to join the group that refuses to look away. Tell me which prediction stayed with you and which moment we should decode next. Because Springfield is speaking, and the real question is whether anyone will listen before 2026 arrives, the truth has always been hidden in the frames. Start looking.